In 3, 2, 1.
Anxious and restless, pressed down by the darkness, so many decisions, a million revisions, exploring the music of Double Agent by Rush. Tim, you were about to tell us something really interesting before we started recording, and Jay went, no, stop. Save it for the pod, man. Save it for the pod.
I think I want to hear that interesting thing right now, Tim.
I want to know. I want to know what Tim is going to say.
Yeah, Tim, real good.
I did express that I think this is my favorite guitar work from Alex from any of the songs on Counterparts.
You know why I think that might be?
Because it rocks?
I think it's... No, well, yeah, but I think that it's because maybe he was just very loose. And the reason I say that is because this little article I read, this little interview with Geddy Lee, talks about that song in Double Agent. He referred to it as a complete exercise in self-indulgence. And it was really one of the last things they wrote for the record or on the record. And they'd written all these songs that had been heavily structured and were crafted and meticulously worked on, this note and that note. And this song, they just wanted to kind of get their yayas out and just have a bit of fun and rave. And really, it's one of the goofiest songs they think they've ever written. But Geddy said, I'm quite happy with the result. And of its own, I think it's really an interesting little piece of lunacy.
Which I find a little, I guess, ironic because, yes, musically, you can tell they were having so much fun, but lyrically, it seems so
twisted,
mysterious, and deep, and,
well, I have something to
serious.
I have something to say about that, but that'll be when we get into the lyrics.
Oh,
but there you go.
Jay's packaging for next week.
Well, Tim and I just packaged together. It was a co-package.
Nice. I love a good co-package.
So how many songs have started? I'm trying to think, and I don't think of any, have just started with the bass. I just thought of a song. So
what
I'm
song?
wrong. Cygnus X1, Book 1.
Oh, at the very beginning. It's
Yeah. Yep. I'll throw that in.
Turn the page.
Turn the page. Damn it. Edit that
Double
whole thing
Agent.
out.
I'm gonna leave it in. But I think it's pretty cool. We can come up with these things just off the top of our head, just knowing the 108 songs. Okay, it's not that. It's more than that. But here it goes. It sounds like this, Double Agent.
Where would you rather be? Anywhere. Anywhere but here. When will the time be right? Anytime but now. Anywhere. Anywhere but here. Anywhere. Anywhere but here.
You know I was going to do that.
Oh, and actually what I meant to say was, I think this is the first song that starts with the bass with a pretty simple bass line.
Yeah. Just like Gene Simmons could play that.
Because he'd have to work on it, but I think he could eventually figure it out.
It's not a rock and roll chord progression.
Right. But, the other songs were Turn the Page, but that's a pretty tricky bass part that he's doing right there, you know? And then Cygnus X1, Book 1, I'm not a bass player, so I don't know, but that could be a little just the way he's.
I think with your musicality and your extreme finger strength, Tim, I could teach you that song in just a few weeks.
Oh, that would be so awesome because I've never wanted to be a guitarist, but I've always wanted to be the bass player.
Dude.
Yes, I've always wanted to learn how to play bass and get up there and just right at the edge of the stage, holding it up like an upright bass and just.
We should start a band with you on bass, Shayne on drums, and me on lead guitar.
That would not be the best band ever. It would not be the best band.
And that's the name of our band. Not the best band ever.
Not the best band ever. And here's our tribute song. Not the best band ever, tribute.
Well, I often say this about many songs on Counterparts, but this might be my favorite song on Counterparts. I like it's got a weird 3/4 driving groove to it.
And see, I'm not really sure. I haven't looked that up, but as I was listening to it, I'm wondering if they wrote it in 3/4 or 6/4.
Yeah, I don't know.
For phrasing.
I don't know, because there's one part where it has an extra couple of. I should have noted that, but I don't remember what it is. But it seems like there's a part in the song where it has an extra couple of beats where it's not the 4/4 or the 3/4, like transitioning from one part to another.
Right, but I think it's easier to count it as 6/4 through all of that.
Well, okay, Tim, why don't you just brag about how high you can count now? Just because
I can count
some of us
6.
can only go to 3. But and what's funny is how they said it was. What'd you say, Jay? A silly song? Because to me it sounds a little creepy sometimes, and I'll get into those details more later.
I think they were tired of writing kind of they worked really hard with the other song, and they were kind of wanting to let loose.
Okay, some more
have
fun.
a little bit of fun with it, and that's I think
right. While most of all the other songs are in 4/4, and they worked really hard to let loose and have fun, they start doing time signature changes because that's Rush.
That's what they do. That's how they do.
That's how they rush and roll.
That's how Rush go.
And I will talk about the lyrics next week, but there's like an internal struggle in the lyrics, and I think you can hear that in the song too. And can use a psychological term incorrectly, but the music sounds as schizophrenic as the lyrics, and I think it really helps you feel that internal struggle of the narrator.
So, what do you think about the sinister Geddy Lee talk throughout the song?
Yeah, a lot of people don't like the spoken part, and
I like it.
They kind of pair it with the rap from Roll the Bones, and they don't like it, but
it's not rap though.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
I wish they could go back and use that voice on the Necromancer. Right?
No, I like Neil's voice being slowed down.
We brave travelers. It sounds like the dog from that puppet show, the Davy and Goliath show.
Hey, Davy.
Let me tell you about the 3 brave travelers, men of Willowdale.
Yeah.
And I like how it's kind of backwards because that's the chorus that it starts with. So it's kind of starts with the chorus, ends with a verse, right?
Yeah.
And then usually a song starts with the verse and builds to the chorus. This one starts with the chorus and builds to the more intense verse. And then, just unexpected stuff, and the spoken part. And back to Jay's question. I don't understand why people don't like it just because it's
I don't understand that. I don't understand why people don't like the voice from the Roll the Bones rap.
I love that. I love that. Right. Yeah. It's cool.
I think it was their way of not trying to take the rap part too seriously.
Right. Yeah.
Rapping. We're not going to be good at it.
Right. Exactly. We are 3 white guys from extreme Canada.
Yeah. So we're not going to be able to rap like a bunch of pros. We're just, but we're going to rap the Canadian Rush way.
And especially there in the, earlier 90s. How many rap artists were coming out of Canada?
That's a good point.
I mean, real rap artists, you know.
Yeah.
No.
How many rap?
No, come on.
How many Canadian rappers are there? We'll look that up someday. Just
One
not
day
today.
we will. But this song, drum wise, we hear the return of the tambourine, which we've missed out for the last couple of songs or so, maybe 3. We're getting the tambourine back. He is again, and it's not a splash cymbal, Shayne, because I know you're going to ask me, and I'm always saying no, it's the China. But you know, during the spoken part in the 3/4 or 6/4 time signature part of it, that is him going back and forth, downbeat on the China, upbeat on the ride. Cool little bass drum part that's going along with that. I love the way his drums. I mean, I've always said I love his drums on this album, but I really like the way they sound on this song.
No, yeah, you can. It's another one where you can hear that ride. And yeah, I was going to ask you about that. How he goes from the splash to the ride,
but it's not a splash.
But it's a China. It's a China symbol.
It's the China symbol. Yeah.
Oh, so cool, so cool.
Using that kit that is right behind me. That's the Counterparts kit.
You know, it'd be cool if that kit was a little clearer, and then you could show us like,
yeah, that would be nice.
China ride, China ride, China ride. But yeah, it must be your fire. It's your fire that's causing it.
I think it's a blurry picture. Anywho.
Well, this has that thing kind of like the beginning of Bastille Day and the beginning of Headlong Flight, where there's the guitar riff and then the stingers. Yeah. And I love the way they do hits. And I'll play it here in a second, how they do 2 of them. And I think it's on the upbeat of 3 and then downbeat of 1. And then the second time it's 3 and it's on 3 upbeat 1. Does it
right.
Dun, 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 dun. And it goes a little something like this. And then it's like a 3-count bass slide.
It's like they're not even trying.
Jay. And there's my notes right there. It sounds like a splash or a China on the downbeat and a ride on the upbeat. Tim.
No.
You know me so
China.
So that little section right there that you just played, talking about maybe a future episode we're going to do about theme songs.
Yeah,
that would be the perfect way to walk into a room right there.
How can you arrange that? I want to hire a person who just walks around with a gigantic jam box, and anytime I go somewhere, he goes in first and plays that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully my chauffeur or my Sherpa can do it, so I only have to have 2 guys.
It's good. Yeah.
And I love Neil's little snare roll lick that he does, you know, after the hits, getting into that.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
because look, any other drummer out there would have gone dun, 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 dun. You know, like that, but no.
Yeah.
Neil does.
I'm gonna play it one more time so you can listen to that part, because I made a note about that because he changes it up a bit at the end, doesn't he? It's almost like that roll, not just but the roll type, the type thing. Yes. Not many rock drummers do that. They don't do that.
No, they just don't.
They don't do that very much. Okay, now we're gonna go 109.
Well, hang on a second. They probably do it now because he did it first. So, like, I've learned how to do that. I'm going to add it to our song here, but he did it first.
I don't think Tommy Lee. Good night, Tim. See you later. Sleep well.
He's disappearing into Neil's drum.
Gears and iron chains.
I like it when I do that, Tim. I love those harmonies. They're so cool because it's kind of like the calmness of the verse and the chaos of the chorus. And then there's that right there. It just kind of, it's tighter. It's still kind of creepy sounding and minor sounding. Does it remind you a little bit of Alice in Chains?
A little bit.
Like, and it's kind of funny. He says, here's the I in Chains. I thought that was kind of cool. Like if they could have got Lane Staley to sing that part, how cool would that have sounded? Not that they ever need any guests, but Lane Staley on that part would have been so cool.
Hey, every Rush song fan, I'd like to throw this out to you. If you'd like to go back and revisit our history of this podcast, especially back at the beginning, and when we first started talking about Geddy's harmonies and how Shayne was not a fan of them. And I think we can say now that Shayne should have just completely changed his mind, because it sounds like he loves Geddy's harmonies on almost every song from this album. And from the last album, he was really liking his harmonies. Oh, and the album before that one that we did, he liked his harmonies.
It's true. I think there's a few songs where I don't like them enough, where it made me think I don't like them in general, when generally I like them. Thank you. Wow. Man, I was majorly paranoid that y'all weren't going to get
Majorly paranoid.
Thank you. Man, we were getting so good at that part. It's too bad we're not better at the whole podcasting thing.
I know, right?
That would be great.
Well.
All right. Alex's guitar, Tim. You said you liked it. Well, here's to me. Yes.
I was going to say it's the way on the chorus, how he changes it up to a busier guitar part that just, especially the closer you get to the end of the song.
And I've got that in my notes. We were thinking the same thing.
Good, because maybe you're hearing when he's doing the digga 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 digga. I just love that.
He does that? When does he do that?
Oh, I just can't
play it. You. I love you too. All right, and this is what part is this? This is the chorus. I think to me this is the chorus. I think tell me if I have the structure backwards, but to me this is the chorus.
Where would you rather be?
Yeah. Anywhere but here.
Time be right. Anytime but now.
Where would you rather?
So he's just picking out those notes right there, and hitting a power chord here and there. But now go to the next chorus.
Just filling in the picture. So you want to go to the next chorus?
Yeah.
See how it changes. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that. That next chorus is at 2:53 of the song. Wow. Here's Tim giving direction. I didn't know we were going to do this. I'm improvising here. I'm taking a cue from Tim. I'm doing what he says. Next chorus. Oops. Play.
Where would you rather be? Anywhere but here. When will the time be right? Anytime but now. Where would you?
And then notice how the synthesizer takes over that part.
Yeah.
It's just so cool. Because that way he's on and the channel's a little dirtier. The guitar's a little more distorted, so it's a little heavier, picking it up a bit.
Yes.
So cool. So cool. I can't even help it. It's so cool. Okay. Did y'all listen to it with headphones?
Negatory.
Oh, Tim. You've probably heard this before, though.
Yes. I've listened to it several
You've listened
times
to this song, right?
Yeah.
I remember the time I was outside doing yard work one day, and I kept hearing these sounds. I'm like, what's these creepy sounds? And there's on the second chorus, there's these that sound like horror movie type string type things in the background. You know what I'm talking about. You can hear it on Sleep, and I'm Faceless.
On the edge of sleep, I heard voices behind the door. The known and the nameless, familiar and faceless.
Yes. But did you hear those first two little things when he's talking about the voices behind the door?
Yes.
There's like one just little, and
on the
then
left
another
side.
one comes up. Yes.
It
Is
sounds
there
like
another? So is there another vocal track on there with him? Because it sounds like you could hear like a slight high whisper in addition to his main whisper.
Did they Twilight Zone it up with a whisper?
Kind of.
I see.
On the edge of sleep, I heard voices behind the door. The known and the nameless, familiar and faceless. My angels and my demons at war. Which one will lose depends on what I choose. Or maybe which voice I...
Maybe. Sometimes it's hard to tell if it's doubled or if it's
hard to tell.
Right.
voice
Yeah.
effect, but it's very nice to listen to, isn't it? Just sounds
Very
good.
nice to
It's
listen to.
uplifting.
Just sounds good. All right, and I already played my next note was the part about with the guitar part at the second chorus. Tim,
Yes.
thank you. All right,
But it's even better on the third one.
Yes, it is 3:25. My notes aren't very good here, but there was something here I wanted to listen to. Oh yeah. It's like the beginning, but with the snare thing. Except, I think it's a bass drum roll here, Tim. You can tell us if it's
a double bass drum roll.
It's not a rough.
No, it's not a rough.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like that. That was good.
Yes.
Speaking of, I think there's a ghost in my house. Okay, now the solo. Is it really? It's more noise than notes. Is it technically a solo?
Right. Well, I mean, yes, it is.
Love just a noisy,
but it's just all facet.
Yes. And if you're listening on headphones, you can hear like slightly different things. I don't know if it's playing two different parts or if it's some kind of echo effect where you can hear different things in each ear. What is all that?
Yeah.
And then the drum part is cool too. And I love that ride just so clear and that snare
and it sounds like at the end of it, you know, he hits that chord, but it also sounds like he's doing some pick slides up and down the string.
Yeah.
A little bit. It sounds like he's hitting the strings on the other side of the frets, like where the sound.
Just making all those weird Alex Lifeson sounds.
Man. I want to play that solo again, but you know what? I'm not. Stream it, man. Go buy the album. Buy the CD. Lady, person, listen to the show, loving it so much like we do. Go buy
Bob.
it.
Go back a few seconds and listen to it again from here. I mean,
yeah, we'll hit the left key a little bit. We'll be here. We got this time travel thing
here
down.
when you get back.
Wait, where's this? It's now.
Hey, welcome back. I
Baseballs.
hope you enjoyed it.
All right. And then it ends.
The case had been tried by the jury inside. The choice between darkness and light. The choice between darkness and light.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Just the Geddy all by himself vocal. And
All right, I want to play this again, and I want you to tell me what you hear. All right, tell me what you hear. I'm gonna just go like the last 8 seconds, maybe. But this time, I'm gonna turn up the volume so that humans can hear it.
Tried by the jury inside. The choice between darkness and light. Between darkness and light.
I swear I heard a female doubling his vocal. Like,
Oh, it's me. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then never mind.
So at the very end, you can hear like a higher part. Is that what you're saying?
Like before he ends it, yeah, that last little part you played right before says the last choice between darkness and light. Just before that, you could hear it sounds like almost sounds like a female voice. From Double
The case had been tried by the jury inside. The choice between darkness and light.
That rare.
The choice between
Back there.
darkness and light.
The choice between darkness and light.
I think that's
Like-
his voice. I think,
Really?
yeah, I don't hear a female thing. I think it's the way he says darkness. It's like,
Maybe.
Because he's very,
Vocal.
he's very
Canadian.
vocal. He's like reading it. He's got a little bit of emotion there. I wouldn't say it's dramatic or he's acting, but he's got a little bit of
Instead of
inflection.
monotone, it's the choice between darkness and light. Instead of the choice between darkness and light.
And light. The choice between darkness and light.
Light. Oh,
Sounds like,
yeah, smooth Geddy.
Hey, ladies. It's what is the couples dances only? It's couples gate.
couples.
I can't hear that song without hearing the beginning of Leave That Thing Alone. It's one of the best transitions between tracks
Yeah,
that there's got to be. The way they
Who
ended
would've thought
it.
Rush
Even
was the
starts on
first to transition. I gotta get this.
Thank you very kindly, Tacoma, Washington.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's wow. We were on the rails. We were on the track in our lane, and then Jay veered out of the lane off the speedway into the ocean. And luckily, this is amphibious because we're going to keep right on going.
There we go.
Well, that's all I
Nothing
got,
but
actually. I can't really. All right. Well, we rank each musician's performance in each song, with 3 being Rush's usual greatness, 2 extra special, and 1 being out of this world spectacular. Percussion.
Okay. I'm going to say, for the most part, this is really just typical Neil. Except for
Yeah.
his snare roll thing. Yeah, I mean, that's a little tricky right there. But his other parts, just keeping rhythm, it's really not that difficult. You know,
Yeah.
I love his double bass drum roll.
Cool and tasteful extra things. not
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
it
technical.
really is, but it's nothing. And it's like every time we do this, I feel like if I just say it's typical, you know, it's like saying, I really wasn't all that impressed. Of course I am.
Yeah.
But you
but
have to
Typical
realize
Rush, though, is different. It's not
Typical
like
Rush is
typical
like-
Kiss.
right. I mean, typical Rush is like up here for other bands. You know,
Yeah.
Say we're
That's-
going to freeze. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Because I
But
didn't
so-
catch any of what you just said.
Oh,
No, it's like typical Rush. That's typical for them, but for another band, that would be somewhere over here to the top,
Right.
because typical Rush is not typical for anyone.
Right.
Yeah, but we're just saying, is there anything far and beyond about it?
On
Like-
percussion, I don't think
Yeah.
so. No.
so would you say 3 instead of 2?
Yeah, I would say 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was
I'd
going to
say
say
3.
What was
2.
I forgot the ratings again. Of the 3 is typical Rush.
3 is usual. 2 extra special. 1 is just out of this
Okay,
world.
yeah.
Whoa.
I would say 3.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Oh, okay.
What about you?
I'm outvoted. I was going to say 2, but we'll go with 3.
Yeah. you're wrong.
Bass. Bass.
Let me hear the bass.
Probably.
Well, the intricacy of the beginning of the bass, the beginning bass line is I mean, technically, it's probably the hardest thing you could ever imagine playing on bass, right?
No.
No.
If with Tim's enormous finger strength and musicality, I could teach it to him in like 4 months.
Wow.
Right.
Incredible.
Yeah. 4 months.
I'm going to say 3. It's super cool
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Guitar. How about Alex Lifeson's guitar work on Double Agent?
So I'm going to say it. I'm going to say again that it's typical Alex. I just love the way he built his rhythm guitar part.
Yes.
Through the song. Now, guitar solo wise, is it Free Will? Is it La Vila? No, it's not.
No.
But I don't know how he's making all those crazy sounds. He's just,
yeah.
I mean, he literally, maybe he just took the guitar and started banging his head up against the strings, right there, and the pickup. I don't know. I really like that. So like I'm stuck between a 3 and a 2 guitar wise.
I'd still say it's a 3, but I understand your point. I mean, it's unusual for him to play that way, though. I mean, I hear guitars that they'll make these crazy sounds but
yeah,
I don't know how to do it. But I don't think it's anything super. Wow, nobody can do that.
Probably more about understanding the sound and the vibrations from the strings and the feedback and whatever.
Really, what it sounds like to me,
guitar.
This sounds like this might have been a one-take Alex.
Yeah.
Could have been.
Just, okay, I've been working on some stuff, but you know what? Throw that out the window. Here we go. This is what I'm putting down. And it worked. He got all the way through it without, like stopping going, I didn't care for that. Let's retake it from this point. Maybe a one-take Alex on that.
I'm saying 3, typical Alex, but typical Alex is my favorite guitarist. Keyboards.
Okay, that's just stupid.
Yeah, I know. I think we could probably go on a limb and say all their keyboards are 3 because none of their keyboards are ever like just, vocals.
Typical in that he talks.
Right.
Overall, I wouldn't say it's
some of what makes his voice sound cool is going to be the studio effects.
Right.
Same with the harmonies. They sound really good, but some of that is the effects and some of it is the arrangement of, which notes he's singing that make it sound cool, so cool versus a spectacular vocal performance.
I agree.
This and
3.
This was such a great song live because I did see this concert in Dallas, and what was great, golly, I mean, maybe they had used it before tours I had never seen, but I know I'd never seen pyro at a Rush concert before until the Counterparts tour. And they really used it a lot in the song, especially on and the cross of holy fire just went, the video screen was showing a bunch of crosses on fire and they hang up on the side and you're like, yes, Gene Simmons is here.
That's funny. Oh, cool. Well, there you have it. Double Agent by Rush. We've told you what we think. We want to know what you think. Tell us. 2112 at everyrushsong.com. Catch us on the Sosh. Comment on the Sosh at Every Rush Song. And show a little love at Patreon. everyrushsong.com/Patreon. We'd appreciate that very much. Very much. Tim, how do we end an episode around here?
Turner Falls, thank you very kindly. Good night.